Hey everyone, Scratch here. Today I'd just like to start off with a positive note of saying welcome to 2022. Now, this year, make a promise to yourself. You will learn a valuable skill. And if you want it so, make it coding. And make it to coding with Scratch. Alright, so we're going to be creating our shoot 'em up game. Disclaimer, this is a beginner's tutorial, so we won't be covering any advanced mechanics or features like, I don't know, a menu or some nice smooth movement. None of that stuff, because it's a beginner's tutorial. But I promise that we will be doing a remastered version with all the mechanics and all the features you'd like. And sorry, the art and the thumbnail is for the remastered version. Anyways, let's get scratching. Here we are. Now let's just set everything up. So over here, let's just set up the project name. We'll set this to shoot 'em up. Yeah, I don't know why that was a cat. Okay, so let's just delete the scratch cat, and then choose a sprite, and let's search for rocket ship. We'll call this player. Go inside the costumes tab, delete all the other costumes, and let's just call this default. There are no other costumes, but I just like naming my costumes. And then choose another sprite called Star, and we're gonna call this Bullet, and I'm gonna call this default as well. And then let's choose another sprite called Starfish, and we're gonna call this enemy, but space hyphen space default. Now, you guessed it, we are adding different types of enemies. Pretty cool, right? Even for a beginner tutorial. And go inside, and let's delete the second costume and rename this to, we'll call this default. I have an obsession with the word default in costume naming. Okay, now over here in the backdrops, hover over here and click choose a backdrop, and we're gonna find stars. Okay, now let's go back into the player sprite, into the code, and let's get cracking. So first things, let's go to the event category and drag a one green flag hat block. So we're gonna set them up first. So in the looks category, drag a set size to 100%, set 100 to 33. Now into the motion category, we're gonna drag a go to XY, change the X to 0, so that's like the center horizontally, and for Y, negative 120 around here. So now if I click the green flag, there we go. Sorry about that creaking noise, if you heard it. Okay, so now we're going to create a variable. You may be thinking, huh? What's a variable? And that's what I'm about to explain. So over here in the block palette, find this orange circle thing, and that's the color code for variables. So using this example, my variable, if I drag this block, set my variable to 1, and my variable, if I click on my variable, it turns out a result of 0, which I will zoom into just to show you. Wow, that does not help. So we see 0. And now what happens if I set my variable to 1? See, it sets it to 1. So variables, you could say, they're like these little oval dudes that keep track of numbers. For example, if I were to check For example, if I were to create a new variable called score, which is what you should do right now, I can, let's say every time we shoot a star, I can change score by 1. So now it keeps track of that. So that's one way you could use a variable. There are so many others. So let's put this all back. Let's zoom out. And let's delete the my variable by right-clicking and deleting. So that, variables just represent a value. So we're going to set the score to 0 because we want to reset it. Then we want movement. Let's just uncheck this for now. So go to the control category and drag a forever block, and then drag a if then block. So we're going to check if we're moving or not. I mean, if we're hitting one of the arrow keys, which is how we move. So let's go to sensing category and drag a key space pressed. But let's change space to left arrow. And we're going to go to the motion category, and that's how we're going to actually implement the movement, and drag a change x by 10 block. Place it underneath here, or in between. Change the 10 to -6, as -6 is going to take us to the left. And then, on top of the if, where my cursor is, right-click, duplicate, and place it underneath. Change left arrow to right arrow, change -6 to 6. Now, this is our basic movement stack. Would you look at that? You just achieved something in a matter of 11 blocks. In fact, just this script over here is a bit less. Okay, so let's make it so that if we touch the starfish, game over. Alright, go to the events category and drag a broadcast message 1 block. And before that, drag a control category, if then, and wrap it around. I should have done that before. And we're going to go to the sensing category and drag a touching mouse pointer block. Put it inside, change mouse pointer to enemy default. See how nice it is when you rename your sprites and costumes. Broadcast message 1, change this to, of course that happened. We're going to change this to game over. We'll leave it like that. Broadcast game over. So now if we look at this, we've completed the rocket. Now let's move on to the bullet. So first things first, let's go to the events and drag a when green flag hat block, and then drag a, from the looks category, a set size to 20%, a hide block directly underneath, forget that, forever block from the control category, as we're gonna put the script that makes it so you can trigger a shot. We want it so it fires every time you click the spacebar. So if I go to the what am I saying? If I drag an if then, get a key space pressed, leave it like that. Then we're going to first play a sound effect. So go to the sounds tab, hover over here, choose a sound, choose laser 2. We'll just call this laser, delete the first one, go to the sound tab and get a star sound laser. Then get a, from a control category, a create clone of myself, as that creates a clone. And then we're going to scroll back up and drag a wait 1 second, so that you have to wait 1 second between every shot, because we don't want you to have rapid fire and just completely annihilate anything standing in your way, because then it won't be a challenge. Next up, we're going to tell the thing what to do when it's a clone, and that's right, I called it thing. So get a when I start as a clone hat block, make some space, and then we wanted to go to the position of the rocket ship. But how exactly do we do that? Well, there's a block exactly for that. So first let's just grab from the motion category, go to X75, Y75. Now, you may be thinking, whoa, shouldn't you grab a go to random position, change that to player? Now that's correct. If I even click that, it proves it. But when it's sized down, so if I just set this to 25, was it? I meant 20. See, when I press go to player, it goes here. But we want it to start at that red thing right over there. Now it will be hidden, but when we do show it, it will be starting off from here, which is not what we want. But we can't change that. But using this block from the sensing category, the background hashtag of stage, change stage to player, and look, we can access the X position of the player. The X position will stay the same, and we'll drag another one of these, do the same thing again, but change it to Y position. But really, that's not going to make a difference. Well, that's what this is going to do. If I go to the operators and drag a plus, well, I think you can see where this is going. On the left hand, drag this inside, and the right hand plus, let's just try 18 for now. So, let's go here. Oh, that's a bit too low. Let's try 23. I feel like that's a bit too tattered. Oh, that seems nice. So let's place that there. Then we're going to show it. Because remember, it was hidden because of the original clone. Then we're going to make it shoot upwards. So in the control category, drag a forever block. And get from the motion category, change Y by 10. And change 10 to 8. And then we need it so it disappears when it touches the edge, like as it zooms off. So we're gonna go into the control category and drag a if then. We're gonna change anything actually. We're gonna get a touching mouse pointer, change mouse pointer to edge, and then we're gonna delete this clone. Now let's look at that. So we have some nice movement, followed with some nice shooting mechanics. Oh, that's a bit too loud. Headphone warning. Right. Now remember, lock that up, but you know, beginner tutorial. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. Alright, that seems just about done for the bullet. And I think that this should be the end of it. Next time we're going to be covering the enemy default and the normal enemy. Oh, it might as well be a part 3 for the waves and other features we're adding. Because it's not too advanced. It won't be too hard, trust me. So let's just save this project. And I'll just call this tutorial. And I'm going to share it. Just remember to subscribe and leave a comment down below. And also like it if you liked it. I'm going to share it.